Hi, hello, welcome back. And for today's video, I'm going to be letting the number of times I picked up my phone determine the number of pages that I am going to be reading this week. I saw other creators do this and I thought it was a fun take on the screen time chooses how long I'm going to read, and in a way that just feels a little bit more manageable, especially if you have high screen times like me. Also, I've just never done this challenge before, so I thought it'd be fun to try. I checked my stats for last Monday to see how many times I picked up my phone last Monday, and it was 102 times. I would show you, but I actually film on my phone, so I cannot do both at once. So today I have to read 102 pages, which I feel like will be doable for me, and because of the book that I am reading. I'm reading A Song to Drown Rivers. This is a young adult fantasy book. It follows the main character who is known for her beauty, and when she draws the attention of a famous military advisor, he presents her with an opportunity to use her beauty as a weapon and to take down the neighboring kingdom that has been infiltrating her village and other villages as well. So far, I'm 141 pages into the book. I'm almost halfway through. According to my reading time, I have 2 hours and 42 minutes left. I think I'm going to read A Song to Drown Rivers today, and probably only this book today. It's 325 pages total, and if I read 102 pages today, I will be pretty close to the end of the book. And I do want to finish this book soon because I am borrowing it from my library, and I only have so many days that I can read this book before I have to return it. So yeah, I'm going to get to reading and kind of take you along my reading day for today, reading 102 pages. Currently on page 158. I read about 17 pages and I have quite a bit more to go, but I'm probably going to read later tonight when I have more time to read. I just had a break, so I was able to get some reading done. It's actually the next day. I did complete my reading goal last night of reading 102 pages of A Song to Drown Rivers. I got completely distracted last night by a whole nother thing that I was doing, and it was one of those times where you get so focused on a task that like you can't step away from it and you just keep on doing it, because that's what happened to me last night, and I put off reading until like about 9:30. So I did stay up a little bit later last night trying to read the rest of the pages that I needed to read to complete that 102-page goal, but I did do it. I did complete it. And for today being Tuesday, last Tuesday, I picked up my phone 102 times again, which is kind of weird that I did it twice 2 days in a row, but I don't know. I still have to read another 102 pages today. It is currently around 5 p.m., and I've just been busy with other things today, so I haven't gotten a chance to read, but I will be reading later, and I will definitely be finishing A Song to Drown Rivers. I have less than 100 pages left of that book, I think, so I will have to start something else. I don't know what I'm going to start yet, but I will be starting something else. Maybe I'll start Fear the Flames, because I just been able to borrow it from my library through Libby, so perhaps I will start that as well for my Kindle book. I don't know. We shall see what I end up picking up next. I will say today I went to Barnes & Noble for a really quick trip because I wanted to pick up The Conditions of Will by Jessa Hastings, which was released today, and I've been meaning to buy Oathbound by Tracy Deonn today, and I went to my local Barnes & Noble for a really quick trip, and I get there and I've been searching and searching, couldn't find any of them. They straight up just didn't have The Conditions of Will at all. They had other Jessa Hastings books, but they didn't have her new release, which was disappointing. And I eventually did find Oathbound in the back of the store kind of hidden a little bit, which was also a little disappointing. So I did end up buying Oathbound, which was exciting because I am excited to read that book. But I feel like it was just a half successful trip to Barnes and Noble. I didn't film any of it for this video because I was making like a TikTok for it and I was practicing like doing a dedicated TikTok for a shopping trip because I haven't really done that before in full force. And I was so anxious in the store trying to get clips. And I don't know. I'm not ready to do like a YouTube video of like a come shopping with me yet, but hopefully one day I can work myself up to that. Today is just not the day. Anyways, I feel like it was good practice for me and good practice for like my social anxiety, I guess, but it was a lot and not entirely enjoyable all the time for me personally. I'm excited to be at home and stay at home and read for the rest of the night at home and not out and about. I think I'm going to start reading A Song to Drown Rivers, see where I end up, probably be finishing the book, and then I will have to pick up my next read, but I don't know what that's going to be yet. I'll keep you updated. I just finished A Song to Drown Rivers, and what was that ending? What was that? This book has me in shock. I think I'm gonna stare at the wall for the rest of the night after finishing that book. Except I can't because I only read like 75 pages and I have about 25 or so to go. I'll have to persevere and read 25 pages of like another book. I think right now I'm just gonna start Fear the Flames because I need a new book to read on my Kindle. Also, I feel like I just need something a little bit more fun right now. So yeah, I'm gonna start Fear the Flames. Hopefully all is well with this book. I don't think I'm gonna get very far. I think I'm only gonna read like 30 or so pages, so I hit my reading goal for tonight, but I am excited to read this. We shall see how it goes because I feel like I've heard mixed opinions on this book. There's a note from the author at the beginning, which I think I can show none of because it's a bunch of trigger warnings in the beginning, and I thought this book was supposed to be fun and lighthearted, but I don't know. It sounds like there's gonna be more to it than that without going into too much detail. I ended up reading 75 pages of A Song to Drown Rivers last night, so I ended up finishing the book. And I apologize for my voice because I'm starting to get sick. So I feel like I just sound a little bit nasally right now, and I imagine it's gonna get worse from here. I finished A Song to Drown Rivers last night. If you couldn't tell by my reaction to the ending of the book, I think for my final thoughts on the book itself, I enjoyed it for the most part. I thought it was really well written and I felt like it kept my attention throughout the book. It is a standalone. I feel like for the most part, everything that was introduced was wrapped up within the book itself. I will say I thought it lacked in some areas of development, especially development of the romance itself. I don't know, I just like wish there was a little bit more interaction, especially during the middle portion of the book. And I feel like I wish some of the plot was like pushed along further. I enjoyed it for the most part. It was like an espionage. I felt like some things happened like a little bit too easy for my personal liking. It was still fun and entertaining to read about. I just like everything was falling perfectly in place. So I always get a little bit suspicious when that happens. And the ending did surprise me in some ways because I was unfamiliar with the legend that this book is based off of. So I was going into it pretty blind, but I did enjoy the ending and I enjoyed the overall message that it had, especially about war itself. I think I'm going to rate it like 3.75 stars and rounded up to 4 stars on my Goodreads. Overall, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it. And I feel like if this book calls to you and it sounds interesting, then it's worth a read. So I read 75 pages of that, and then I read 33 pages of Fear the Flames. So I exceeded my reading goal of 102 pages the other day. Like I said, I started Fear the Flames, and I don't know why, but I thought it was going to be like fun and lighthearted. And then all the like content and trigger warnings at the beginning was like, oh, I don't think this is as much lighthearted as I thought it was going to be. Not that I'm complaining, but I just had a different expectation before going into it. Also, I thought this book was young adult, but I don't think it is young adult because the MMC, they said he was 29 years old. They haven't said the FMC's age yet, but I would assume that she's close to that age. And then it had me questioning, like, why did I think this was a young adult book? I don't really know. Essentially, it has dragons, it has battling kingdoms, and yeah, that is pretty much all I know at this point. So for today being Wednesday, I have to read 122 pages because last Wednesday I picked up my phone 122 times, which I have like no frame of reference if that's good or bad, but I'm leaning towards more bad. Anyways, my reading plans for today, later today, I'm definitely going to be reading more of Fear the Flames because it's my Kindle book, and I like to read Kindle books at night when I'm in bed so I can relax in bed and not have to like awkwardly try to hold up a physical book. So I will definitely be reading more of Fear the Flames today. Then, if you remember, I went to Barnes& and Noble the other day to get Oathbound and the Conditions of Will. I only ended up finding Oathbound, but last night I did an online pickup order of the Conditions of Will. So I ended up getting it today. So I might be starting this one as well, but we shall see. I really enjoyed the Magnolia Park series, so I am excited to read this. I'm a mood reader at heart. Who knows what I'm going to be reading actually? I have to read 122 pages today, which is honestly not that bad, but I feel like I've just been busy during the day with like personal life stuff, and I haven't had much time as I thought I was to actually read. Also, I'm starting to get sick, so I just feel tired. Today is Thursday, and I failed already. Promise I'm not crying. My eye is watering because I'm sick. If you can't tell, I'm sick. I don't feel very good. Yesterday I was supposed to read 122 pages. I only read 38. I read like 8 pages of The Conditions of Will and then like 30 pages of Fear the Flames. And I did not meet my reading goal or my page goal at all. Today I have to read even more. So last Thursday I picked up my phone 138 times. So today I have to read 138 pages plus the pages that I didn't read the other day. Today I should read 176 pages in order to catch up. I'm going to try my best to get to that number. Yesterday I felt pretty crummy. Today I also feel pretty crummy. Hopefully tomorrow I feel better. I don't have any plans for the rest of today, so hopefully I'm able to get quite a bit done with reading. However, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been enjoying Fear the Flames that much, and I feel like I know that's early to say because I'm like 60, almost 70 pages into the book so far. Best way I can describe it right now is that I feel like there has been a lot of setup in the beginning, which obviously makes sense, but it's setup that I don't think is like very relevant, or it at least has not been proven to be relevant yet. And I'm kind of just waiting for like the big plot point to happen where the FMC is like finally gonna go to the other kingdom. I don't know, maybe it'll get better, maybe it will not, but I just like don't really have a good feeling about the book so far. And then for The Conditions of Will, I literally read like 8 pages, so like the first chapter. And I mean, so far so good, but I'm like literally very, very in the beginning, so I don't really have too much to say on it right now. If I read 176 pages today, we shall see. I don't know. I feel pretty crummy, so I don't know. I made it to chapter 12 of Fear the Flames, which is page 84. I think I read like, what, 20 something pages so far. And I'm gonna stop here, at least for tonight, for Fear the Flames, mostly because my eyes just feel swollen from being sick, and I don't know. I'm just like having a difficult time actually reading words, so I'm gonna switch to an audiobook. I'm gonna borrow Locked Door by Frida McFadden from my library because I'm able to borrow it like right now because I do want to like read something, but I just feel like my eyes are like way too tired and they like feel swollen. So I think I'm gonna listen to an audiobook. And I know like Frida McFadden books, even if like I don't think they're the best book ever, they are like entertaining enough for me to like read or listen to. So I'm gonna start The Locked Door. It sounds pretty interesting based on the premise. I am able to download Locked Door from Kindle Unlimited, so I will download it just to see like how many pages I end up listening to, and I'll keep you updated. Hello, it's Friday. I ended up reading 21 pages of Fear the Flames last night, and then I started the audiobook of The Locked Door last night too, just because I physically could not read with my eyes anymore. And I ended up listening to 162 pages of The Locked Door, so I did hit my reading goal or my page number goal the other day. I think I had to read like what 176 pages. I have been enjoying The Locked Door so far. This is not my first Frida McFadden book, so I'm very familiar with her writing style and her stories and her plots. If you didn't know, The Locked Door follows the main character, and her dad was a serial and eventually went to prison for it. And she's been basically spending the last like 20 or so years trying to keep her identity as a secret until that comes under threat when there are copycat out in the world. Like I said, not my first Frida book, so very familiar with how she makes almost every character or every character seem just a little bit suspicious. So you're kind of just guessing like who is the real culprit here, or maybe it's multiple people at the same time. Also, I feel like she tends to make her main characters a little bit dumb or a little bit naive in order to push the plot further, which sometimes I find annoying in her books, and other times it doesn't bother me as much. I feel like for this case, it doesn't bother me like that much, but there are a few instances where the main character's like being a little too naive, and I'm like, come on, girl, like you're in your 30s and you didn't figure this one out yet. I am thoroughly entertained by the book so far. It's an easy audiobook listen to for me personally, and I think I'm going to listen to more of the book today because for today being Friday, last Friday I picked up my phone 76 times. So today I have to read 76 pages, and I'm going to listen to 76 pages or more worth of The Locked Door. I still feel pretty sick, and I don't know. I feel like I'm tired and my eyes just feel still drowsy, so I don't like really feel like reading a physical book or a digital book right now, especially because I want to give the physical and digital books that I am reading, Fear the Flames and The Conditions of Will, my full attention. And I feel like I just don't have full attention right now to read a physical or digital book, but I do have attention to listen to an audiobook. I'm going to continue on listening. and let you know when I hit my page number goal today. Hello! It has actually been a couple days since I last filmed, but I just wanted to check in because on Friday I did end up hitting my page number goal. I ended up reading a little over 100 pages, well, listening to a little over 100 pages of The Locked Door. Over the weekend, I ended up finishing the entire audiobook. I ended up giving it a 3.5 star rating. Like I said, I've read Frida McFadden books before, so very familiar with how she writes books, how she writes characters, and they always follow this one formula of they're a little bit fun, a little bit twisty, and have a dash of naivety because the main characters are always a little bit dumb, a little bit naive, and definitely the case for The Locked Door. I still enjoyed it. I thought it was a really easy read or really easy listen to. It was exactly what I needed at the time of reading. And I do feel like the final twist wasn't so unbelievable where you're just like, okay, that's the twist. Like, yeah, it surprised me, but like logistically, I don't know how that works out. Sometimes Frida McFadden twists, while they are shocking, once you think about it, you're like, I don't really know if that makes sense. To conclude, mostly was successful with this challenge, a little bit of a fail, but I feel like it was because I got sick. I do feel significantly better now, but last week was a rough week for me, sickness wise. I was not doing good. I'm sure you could see on my face that I was not doing good, or hear it in my voice that I did not sound good. I did have a lot of fun with this challenge, and I felt like it made me read more consistently because usually I either read like all at once or nothing at all, and I like alternate between the two every single day. I felt like it helped me be a more consistent reader, even though I did have to read quite a bit to hit my page number goal. I will definitely be doing this in the future because I feel like it's just more manageable and realistic for my life to do as opposed to switching my screen time with reading time because I have really high screen times and it's hard. So yeah, definitely will be doing this again in the future. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.